And I'm setting up here really quick, and we have a special guest. Very excited. Maria is right here. Bingo. What's up? What's up?
I was so confused on how to do this. I was like, how do I go
Your
live?
first live?
On Facebook, yes.
All right. Maria, what's going on? How's everything?
What's going on, Moshe? I am so excited when I found out about El Torito. Like, you don't understand the
Explain
excitement.
to me. Explain to me.
I mean, hello, hi. Last year, 2018, I did two choreographies. Well, I didn't do one. I was a part of one choreography from Hector Acosta. And then by the end of the year, I did another choreography of his. Like, I love his music. Like, he's just so amazing. This is crazy.
Awesome. You never seen him live?
I've never seen him live.
Oh my
Never.
God. That's amazing. So I'm very excited that you are excited, especially, you've seen so many artists. So for those of you who don't know, because the news is already out, we added another amazing concert for ADC Cuba happening this June in Hector Acosta El Torito. I just made sure that I said it right, and I'm super excited because, I don't know much about bachata, but I know a lot about him and his music, and we're all like freaking out here at the office, and everybody's super happy. But first, Maria, for the very few who doesn't know who you are and what you do and where you perform and how long, share us a little bit about your story.
About my story, I am a dancer. I am a all-around dancer. I don't like to say that I am like one particular genre. I have, however, been in the Latin dance industry for over 10 years. And my specialty is salsa and bachata. And I mean, I just love it. And I've been going to ADC for how many years now? Like, I love ADC. You know I love ADC.
You've been there forever, right? From the very
Yeah.
beginning, or from the second one or something?
This that not the very first one, but the second one, which is kind of like the first one
Yes, it's
because it
not,
was
but yeah,
empty.
kind of. Yeah, okay, cool. So, salsa and bachata, what came first? Came first.
Salsa came first. I think salsa came first for many, and then bachata. Yeah,
And how
and
come? What got you into bachata? Salsa, we'll talk about it in a second.
well, bachata is something that even when I was growing up, I used to go to Washington Heights and sneak into the clubs in Washington Heights, and they were dancing bachata, and I loved it then. You know, salsa came about because I love salsa, and I went to Santo Rico. I went to Yamule, Santo Rico. Like, there's this whole history, and then from Santo Rico, I decided to kind of do my own thing, and that's when I did Decoy Dance Company, and that's when I just kind of started going into just different genres of dance, and bachata was one of them.
Nice. Any other background like hip hop, modern, jazz, or
Yes,
straight salsa? Oh, cool.
I have done hip hop, not modern. I've studied modern and jazz, but I've done hip hop for a long time, commercial hip hop, where I've worked with Kanye West. I did the Grammys with Rihanna. I was on in concert with Romeo Santos, even though he's a bachatero, but it was like a hip hop thing in Madison Square Garden. So yeah, just artists like that.
Now, you mentioned Yamule and Santo Rico. For those who don't know, those are two major dance teams from New York City, and you live and dance in New York City, even though you travel the world.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about, like, it's pretty difficult to be a successful dancer in New York City, right?
I mean, if you have the passion and the drive for it, and no matter what, you go for it, then it's not a problem. You know what? I don't think anything is a problem if you love it and you train and you work hard towards it, you're gonna make it happen no matter what. I believe that truly.
100%. So let's talk about that really quick. You threw some big names like it's nothing, like Rihanna, Grammys, Romeo Santos, and stuff like that. And a lot of dancers, like their dream is to get to that point where they perform or just anywhere near on the same stage with these people. So how come, what it took, and what it takes for somebody else that want to be there?
Well, as far as, again, this is not something that I decided to do overnight. I remember as a teenager, I was just like, this is what I want to do. I was studying this when I was I was studying dance when I was 10 years old, and then nothing came to me overnight. I would just have to work. And I remember I went to high school for dance. I went to junior high school for dance, high school for dance, and that's all I studied. And then in New York, I went to Broadway Dance Center a lot, and I went to auditions, and it was a grind. It's still a grind. Being a dancer is not something that is easy. And if, I tell my nieces, I want them to do anything and everything that they want and pursue, but I don't recommend being a dancer, a full-time dancer, for anyone.
Why?
It's a tough
Why?
business.
That's a tough one. Like, why? I mean, if it's my passion, not that I have the talent for it, but say I have the passion to dance, like, why
Right.
not to be a dancer?
Well, you can have the passion for anything, but as long as you put in the work. You know what I mean? If you put in the work, then it's all going to happen for you, for sure. What it
Okay.
takes is just training, dedication, not sleeping, taking your classes, doing everything and anything you got to do, because the competition is real and
But
everyone else wants it.
but Maria, it's very difficult to be an attorney. It's very difficult to be a trader on Wall Street. It's very difficult to own a
Right.
business for more than 2 years, and on and on and on. So like, why you picking, so like, this is something I didn't know about you, and I know quite a bit. Like like, actually right now recommend
Hmm.
people not to get into dancing.
I It's just a very tough business, especially the hip hop industry. It's the hip hop industry, meaning the commercial dance industry. When you want to dance for Beyonce, when you want to dance for all of these artists, you have to get ready. Your skin has to get so thick, because if you go out there and you already think that you're good and you're not working that hard, or you could be working very hard and it's just still not enough. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So that's what I mean mainly with dancing. You have to just prepare for the best and for the worst.
So tough skin, and don't get into it unless you're ready to put the work. What do you mean by work? Let's define that.
Training, taking your classes, really understanding the history, getting knowledge, understanding your body, taking multiple different types of classes. That's what I mean, for sure.
Okay. Now, we both know a lot of amazing dancers that are like freaking talented. You see their shows, they're just like out of this world. But for whatever reason, you don't see them traveling and working as much as other dancing. Now, we're here trying to put dance and business together. Like, what would you separate or explain to everybody that would, like, what's the difference between just being an amazing dancer and training, but also to put the work to actually get work and be invited to perform with all these amazing concert artists that you just mentioned?
Well, I mean, again, I remember in 2010, I took a picture with some of the biggest dancers now, and they were pretty big
You were
then.
7 in 2010. What are you
I
talking
was I was 7. I was in
about? Okay.
Europe.
Oh,
I
okay.
was in not 7 in Europe, but I was in Europe back in 2010, and I remember being in gosh, I think it was no, I don't want to say it was that, but it was just some event in Europe, and I want to say Germany. And yeah, I was in Europe back in 2006 dancing for 112. Like, this is just stuff, it didn't come overnight for me. I've worked really hard. I was
So
in the
give us
studio.
the special sauce. What do I need to do to get that gig?
You need to work. You need to, I mean, before then, I was in, like I said, I was in junior high school for dance. I went to high school for dance, and I went to Dance Center. I would go to the newspaper, because there was like newspapers then. It wasn't like, I would go to backstage and just look for work and look for jobs. Like, it wasn't easy. Nothing was easy, and I
Right.
would have to do it for myself. And it was harder because my mom, I love her to death and she loves me to death and she supports me, but she wasn't supportive. She was like, "What are you doing? Why can't you just be like everyone else's kid and be like a lawyer or a doctor?" And I'm like, "This is what I want." It's the same thing for Jennifer Lopez. Like, no one was on her side. No one. She had to figure everything out on her own, and she booked, and she's blessed, obviously. So,
Yep. In business, you can read the books, you can go to all the seminars, you can get those degrees from
yeah,
school, and on and on and on. But there is a point where you need to stop and
yeah,
actually go to work, right?
yeah.
So, like in dancing, taking workshops, training, put 5, 6, 7 hours a day at the studio working on your craft. But as far as the business aspect, like to get those gigs, to get to Romeo Santos, to all these amazing artists that you mentioned, Beyonce, Grammys, I mean, are you kidding me? This is like top of the line. What is work like to get that?
Well, when I got Rihanna and I got the Grammys, I performed in an underground dance scene, hip hop industry event. And when I performed there, I remember I was just not even in the mood to do it. I was not feeling well, and I was just like, I don't want to do it. But I booked it, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do the show. And when I did the show, I did it with Decoy Dance Company, and we went out and we just danced our hearts out, like we felt it.
The
And then the
auditions.
next thing, it wasn't an audition. This was an event. And what I didn't know was that Rihanna's dance choreographer that was already hired to do the Grammys, and Rihanna's and the choreographer's agent was in the audience.
Wow.
And yeah, it's just so funny how that happened. And I wasn't going to do this event.
And you know what's funny? Some people would hear your story and say, oh, she got lucky.
I did.
And
I
no,
kind of
but
did.
I'm here to tell you didn't. Because you see, this is the funny thing. You go to meetings, you shake hands, you know, you do it for 5 years over and over again. And then one meeting, you meet the right person, you shake hands and you do big time business and make millions, but you
Right.
didn't get lucky. People
Right.
forget about the 5 years going to meetings and trying to do the same thing. So you
Right.
performed in a lot of high and low and different levels of shows. You
Right.
always put your heart out. You always
Yeah.
put the work. You trained in addition. So yeah, one time somebody saw you and invited you, but it's not really luck.
It's not. You're right. Because at that day, I wasn't well. I was not feeling well. And I think a lot of people that felt the way I felt would have just been like, no, I'm not even going to do it. Because nowadays, people don't really work hard towards things. It just kind of comes to them with the internet and everything. So yeah, I went and I bust my ass and I still did what I had to do. So when the choreographer was there, I got called the very next day, and they were like, we want you. And I was giving Rihanna privates for Latin dance.
I think people do work hard, but
Yeah.
it comes and go really quick because
Yeah.
they lose focus or they don't have the commitment and they don't do it for too long.
Right.
Consistency, you know. So working hard, of course, you know. I mean, being in the business not that long like you, but like 10 years or 12 years now, putting events, like, involved with the scene a little bit longer. But I see those dancers that come and put up an amazing show. Everybody is like cheering and going crazy. 2 years later, you just don't see them.
Yeah, but
And
they put on that amazing show for that event. I put on shows and I look for events other than the Latin dance scene. So, like I said, this was an underground hip hop dance scene where I didn't think that her agent was going to be there. You know, I mean, her choreographer was
of
going to be
course,
there. You have to look, look and think outside of the box. And that's what the thing is, that people are just so into just this scene, just this box. And it's when they get so surprised when, you're doing something like that. You know what I mean? Like I was hit
yep,
up by so many people like, oh my God, congratulations. And I'm like, thank you. But we all could have done it, you know?
right. So to drive your point home really quick, put the work, because
Yeah.
without the work and the talent, nothing gonna really happen. But then stay consistent and give your heart out, even if you have 30 people in the crowd, even if you have two
Yeah.
people in the crowd, because you never know when that right one person gonna be there.
Correct. This is
Cool.
my
Now,
view, Moshe.
I don't know, but it looks freezing. You want to see my view?
It's
I'm with the
freezing.
t-shirt on.
Yeah,
But
I'm pissed.
I love New York, but not in January. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like anytime after, I would say March, I'm
Yeah.
down to visit. But you mentioned Decor, your dance team and dance studio.
Yeah.
Share with us how did that start and what's up with Decor nowadays?
Well, decor has been put on hold for some time. I had it for actually, I had it for 6 years. And, no, I had it for 5 years. And, the dancers, I had my consistent dancers for that amount of time too. And it's just everyone kind of grew out of it. It's just like school. You go to school until high school, until the 12th grade, and then you go to college, you graduate. So I just feel like a lot of that happened, and a lot of it happened to me too, where, you know, I was focused only on decor studio, on decor dance and the dancers, and I wasn't as focused on myself. So last year, especially, I decided to really make it my business to focus on Maria Ramos, and it's okay to do so. I for some reason, I would never let myself go that far and make anything about Maria Ramos. It was always decor studio, decor dance company, womanity, and it's just everything is about everyone else but me. So that's why decor dance company is put on hold, and then womanity just boomed when I put decor dance company on hold. So it just all worked out, you know what I mean? And
So
womanity is,
what's that? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, womanity is very, very good because, and very different because it's I think last year I was just going through so just so much. Like I didn't know where I was going, what I was gonna do. And then for some reason, when I put choreography together for the women and I would just dance, I would sit down and just, you know, speak to them and try to inspire them. And it was because I was going through a lot. So everyone felt my pain, but then again, everyone was just sharing theirs. And with that and with them, I got to overcome so much. And we would talk about fears. We would talk about how to overcome the fears. We still talk about these things, you know, and how is it that we can become better people, and how can we help other people.
So taking
And
a step back really quick, so is it like a dance session, a workshop, or like a group sharing their experience and fears?
it's a group sharing our experiences and fears through dance, because my choreography does the same thing. My choreography scares people. It's not the norm. It's not a salsa. It's not a bachata. And if it is, it's completely different styling and a completely different expression. So a lot of the times they're scared and they're just like, we don't want to perform it, but we just want to train with you. I always say, okay, but eventually they perform because they have to perform. They have to overcome that fear, you know, and that's what womanity is about. There's so many women teams. I get it. I respect it. Power to them. But there's a bigger picture with womanity. It's not just, here you go, here's choreography, give me your money. It's so much more than that, you know. There are times that women can't pay. So don't pay. Just
So
come
I
in,
cannot
train.
attend those classes, right?
You can.
All right.
Men can. Just like women break dance, men can freaking come in and take womanity classes and just express another
So
expression.
maybe a different name would work. I mean, I'm sorry, when I
Maybe.
hear womanity, I
Yeah, it's
mean,
true.
I'm not really, oh, good, I'll go. I'm just not, you know? um, we need to think about a name, but I love the concept, and I think it's necessary. I think it's different, and clearly, you know, people speak. You have those classes are pretty big.
Yeah, there are, and they're good, and it's really empowering. And I hate using that word empowering because I know everyone is using that word empowering women. But the truth is that it is. You know, it's,
Also, a lot of people use the word hustle, the word hustle, and go to work, but nobody go to work. So, you know.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
All right. So what's next for Maria and her school and her team, and like what's coming
Well,
up?
Well, right now, starting in February, I'm doing online classes. I'm doing privates online now. I'm offering a lot of these things because a lot of my students they're just writing me from different
Private
places,
online? How does
private
that work?
online. Well, so I partnered up with someone that's setting everything up for me so I could give you a better idea. But what it is that we set up either like a Skype, just like different Skype sessions where I can teach the privates online.
No,
Yeah.
I was just laughing because I see here Farid joined us, one of our big time ADC team member, and he's like, I am womanity. So I think
Yes.
both me and him going to join your class on ADC and
Yes.
try it.
You have to.
He
You
has
really
nothing to
do.
do. Farid doesn't do nothing on ADC.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so I'll join
Damn.
him. It's not like I do anything. So
Shade.
okay, so like a breakthrough, never seen before, privates online. That's exciting. I thought we're like 5 years behind because we need VR first. But that's really cool. I mean, I'll try it. That's cool.
And classes, and I mean, I'm having courses where it's not just like one class. I mean, you can have that option where it's just one open class, but I have courses where it's step by step, where it's beginner, you know, and then you continue taking, it's like a cycle. You continue taking that beginner, and it's the process of growth.
I think you should include in the price attending one of your whatever workshop you teach in the area of that student, because I don't care how, and I'm a huge fan of technology. I mean, that's why we do this interview when you're far away and so many people can
Yeah.
see, and so many other things. Forget about it. I would never leave. I don't want to be 20 years ago. Like, I'm so happy with everything that we have now, but at the same time, nothing will ever replace seeing you in person, seeing our favorite instructors in person, and taking classes and touching another person and have that connection in the social dancing aspect.
Yeah, but some people just don't have that opportunity when they live in another country and they don't have the classes out there. And this is what I mean. You got to make it work. You got to make it happen for yourself. If you don't live in New York City, where I am blessed to have Alvinelli Broadway Dance Center, Steps on Broadway, Perry Dance, all of these amazing D-Course, you know, studio, all of these amazing, you know, places that you can attend to take your classes, they don't have that. So I'm offering that for sure.
What's your take about congresses to meet new people, learn how to dance and practice?
To meet new people, learn how to dance and practice. I don't think you learn how to dance at a Congress workshop. I think you learn when you actually take consistent dance classes. But I mean, that's definitely, if that's what you have, definitely take all of the classes. I think it is important to expose yourself, expose your mind, your body.
For me, it was the other way around. I took a lot of classes. I learned quite a bit. And then I had to start attending congresses in order to take my dancing a little bit further, dance with people that I don't see every day. Because if you go to the same social, the same, you know, dance parties, you always dance with the same people. And let's be also frank, like, the level of dancing in one state is not the same with another state. So that's why traveling and trying different states and different levels of dancing and seeing your favorite instructors and performers and dance with them, it's also necessary. So would you recommend your students to travel to events?
I do recommend that. I recommend that they travel with friends, because these places can get very lonely. And, you know, when you go to meet people, I mean, everyone is different. Whatever works for you, works for you. But if you have like 2 or 3 friends that you can go with and have a good time, I definitely recommend that. And no, I do agree what you're saying. I just think that if you think from a workshop, you can get a lot. Sometimes you would get more discouraged. That's why it's good to take consistent classes. But I do agree. I mean, social dancing at ADC or social dancing at a Congress, I mean, hello. Especially when you're just having a great time, like ADC, like, so everyone is like lit, everyone is either drunk or, well, maybe not. I shouldn't say that.
That's because the boat is moving. That's
right. That's what it is.
The boat is moving. You're like, you know. But you know, I think otherwise. Honestly, like I've been in so many congresses as a student. I literally spent all of my money into that. And my favorite congresses moments were when I traveled by myself. And thank God I traveled by myself, because if I waited for a bunch of friends to travel with me, I would never gone anywhere. But when you travel by yourself, beside the fact that you go whenever you want, whatever you want, and you do whatever the hell you want, you have no, like, you're by yourself. You're going to go and take the workshops. You're going to go and watch the shows. You're going to go and dance. When you go with a bunch of friends, they're like, yo, let's go have lunch. Hey, what time you're ready? You're waiting for them. They don't want to go dancing anymore. They feel like going, you know, and even worse, you ended up dancing with them, taking the workshop with them, picking them, being your partners. I mean, they're here all the time. Keep them here. Travel by yourself, meet a lot of new people, force yourself to socialize, because you have no other choice. I think everybody should travel by themselves to congresses.
Really? That is interesting.
What's the point of traveling and being in a congress if you dance with your dance teams? Like, if with your friends, with your instructor, like that, you have them every day.
Yeah,
no,
you're right.
And you too, by the way, also the instructors. I mean, if you travel and you dance with the same instructor that is a block away from you in New York when you're in Thailand, what's the point? You know?
No, absolutely. You know, everyone is different. I travel a lot by myself, a lot. You know, and and I have met different people, and now I take more classes when I travel, where before, when I didn't travel by myself, I would be like, oh no, let's just chill here, but no, those are good points for sure.
Awesome. Tips for dancers that are already dancing, performing, teaching. I know a lot of people are looking up to you, but they want to be also in the business for so many years like you. Let's just not say how many years, but for those who actually want to be in business, want to be a dancer for a long time and actually be hired, and
Yeah.
bring them again to the same event year after year. What does that take?
It just takes work. Put in the work and don't expect
Maria, we need
anything.
info. What's work?
Work is taking your classes, is really understanding what is it that you're teaching, really understanding that you're still a student of dance. It's understanding that nothing comes that easy. You have to take your classes and you have to put in your time for the training. You don't really understand your body until you put your body through it all. You take those dance classes even when you're extremely tired. You go home really late, you wake up in the morning, you work out again, and you do all of your research when it comes to dance. It's just, and if you have a partner, is understanding the chemistry with your partner, and don't rush into anything. Everyone is rushing into, having a partnership, putting out a choreography, and then they're just like, I don't understand why I'm not getting booked. You're not getting booked because your work is not as good as you think. And people see that. You have to have the entire package for organizers to understand that they're getting their money's worth. Even for your students, when you go out, and it's not all about the show, it's about your workshop. It's about really understanding dance and really understanding how to explain these things to your students, so that your students can leave your workshop and just feel really good and feel the impact and the change that they have to make, within their dance. It's a lot. And people want it overnight, and it's not overnight.
Bingo.
Boom.
I got what I wanted.
That's it.
I needed to hear that. Like, put in the work. I think people should have heard that. And that's amazing. And that's really the reason, why your workshops and some other instructors that we all love and know are so successful. You know how many instructors I see outside of their workshop location 15 minutes before, calling their partner and like, hey, let's figure out what we're going to teach today. I'm so messed up from last night. Let's see what I'm going to go over. People notice that.
Right.
So put in the work. That's amazing.
Understanding the work, understanding what you're doing, knowing exactly what you need to do to help other people. That's what it's about. When you're hired, it's about other people. It's not about you. It's not about your fame.
Awesome. Now, last thing, before I let you go, because I know you have so much going on, but it's like I'm really curious about that. How do you manage staying in touch with all of your fans and students and people on social media, people that are not in New York taking your classes on a daily basis? Do you follow back? Do you reply to comments? Do you go live?
Yeah. No, I always try to reply to comments, especially when you DM me. The best place to DM me is Instagram, because I'm always on Instagram. It's always social network. It's WhatsApp, Instagram, email. You know what I mean? And I always reply to every single one of them, for sure.
Perfect. So, good segue. What's your IG? What's your Facebook? How people can stay in touch with you or take your classes?
Ernie is like, close the blinds.
Yeah, guys, I'm not in jail. We just have the sun that most of you probably haven't seen for a while because it's so cold everywhere. Right in my face, in between the verticals, and I look funny. Even though we have pretty good lighting here in the studio, I still look funny. But, we had a great conversation. But how can people stay in touch with you?
They can follow me on Instagram for sure. It's Maria Ramos _official. Once again, that's Maria Ramos _official. And just right now, contact me through there. And my web address is mariaramosdance.com.
Awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
They just closed the blinds, so I look better now. Thank you, Ernie. And actually, Kevin did that. So, Ernie, we got it. So I assume for all of these amazing 1,600 people that are going to be on ADC Cuba, if they want to see you, just go to the first row of El Torito concert, and Maria is going to be right there, right?
Yes, and guys, my mom is coming. I spoke to Moshe.
Your mom is coming?
And yes, thank you, Moshe, so much for everything. And
For real,
My
take
mom
a
is
note.
gonna
We're gonna
go.
bring mom on stage.
Yes. Oh my God, she won't go, but I'm really excited. I'm excited to see El Torito in person. I'm excited to hopefully dance on stage while he's there. I'm just excited. Like, I love ADC. You already know.
Thank you, thank you. We're very excited about Cuba. So many different things to be excited about. I mean, a new cruise line, Thursday to Monday, going to Havana. I never been personally. Um,
Me
Smaller
neither. Oh
ship,
my God, I've
and
been
those
wanting to
concert artists.
go.
And your mom. Are you kidding me? Your mom is
Right.
going to
Hello.
join. 10 cruises,
That's
and
the best
finally
part.
we're going to get to meet your mom. So that's amazing.
Yes.
All right,
Thank you for
back to
everything.
work. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you really soon.
All right. Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.